which is Women in Competitive Gaming and Content Creation. On the main stage right now, we have Zombri, Tiny Riot X, and Cupcake Gaming 882. So, guys, take it away.
Okay, so this is a woman in competitive gaming and content creation panel where me and fellow women discuss what it's like to be a woman in the Minecraft space. So just for general introductions, who are you guys?
I suppose I should probably go first. Hi, my name is Tiny Riot X, also just go by Riot or Cat to those who know me. I started content creation maybe 2 years ago now. Joined the event space pretty quickly and I've kind of been here since. I haven't really left.
I'll go next, I suppose. Hi, my name is Cupcake Gaming 82, or better known as Emily. I've been in this event sphere for about 4 to 5 years almost, and I've seen quite a lot of people, and done a lot of things for different Minecraft events in my time. So, yeah.
And then my name is Zombri, and um, yeah, I'm 22. I've been streaming for like like about a year now. Like I've been streaming for like a little over a year now, and like I've made content since I was young, but like really got into Minecraft last year for content creation.
Yeah.
So now that we
Alright,
have our
yeah.
introductions all over, so for questions, we'll get right into questions. First of all, what's empathy and what inspired your video about empathy and how can it be used in day-to-day life?
I believe that
Uh,
one's for you,
so,
Emily.
alright. Well, empathy to me feels like it's when you put yourself in somebody else's shoes and you really get to know what they feel like. It's any sort of act of kindness that you would make towards somebody that might not be justified, or some form of like being nice towards people out of the good of your heart, right?
Yeah, I'd say so. I think empathy to me is just showing that you care a little bit, even when you don't necessarily have to. It's just kind of having a little bit of that humanity about you and just like if somebody's having a bad time, just trying to help them out a little bit, give them a smile. You never know when it's going to turn someone's life around or just help them out in that day. It could be the best thing that's happened to them all day and it's really not too difficult to do.
I think empathy towards me, like for me, probably has to be like feeling with trying to like understand somebody and be there for somebody, like when times are rough. So like I work with kids and like if they get hurt on the playground, I'll take the time and sit down with them and I'll ask them like, "Hey, what's going on? Do you want to talk about it?" And I'll be there for them as best as I can, and try and understand how they're feeling, even though like I'm much older than them and they're much younger than me. I still try and feel for what they're going through and try and help them through what they're dealing with.
Yeah, I mean, to add off of that, I also work with like kids every day, and I try to my best to like teach them what being kind looks like to other people, even when like let's say a kid gets hurt and all of a sudden they come rushing over there even though they weren't the cause of it. That's what I try to look out for all of the kids that I work with, because it's genuinely a good thing to teach kids early on. I mean, empathy is like something that has really changed the world, I think, um to anybody who has them. And it's an awesome superpower to have that doesn't take any form of talent. But yeah.
Um, so going on to the second question, has there been a point in time that you have experienced empathy from others? Who was it from, and what was it like and about?
Does anybody mind if I go first?
Yeah, no, you can go on.
Yeah,
Um,
feel free.
I think for me, empathy in the scene has come in a lot of different ways. I mean, I've seen it when life's not been going too well for me. I've had, personal loss, and you see a lot of people kind of come together to share empathy. But I think the biggest one for me is, if you don't know, I'm an ex smoker. I used to smoke. I used to vape. I kind of shared a lot of that journey. I have timed out.
I'm
So
out too.
timed out. Okay.
I kind of shared some of that journey online. I kind of shared when I'd hit a month, hit like my first month off it, when I'd hit 6 months, and then when I'd hit a year. And the kind of immediate response from everybody, even people I'd not spoken to or didn't really know me very well, was just encouragement, supportment, how proud they were, how to keep going, tips and tricks to kind of help me keep going with it. So I think there's a lot of empathy in this community, and I think a lot of people are pretty nice in this community, and they show it in different ways.
Absolutely. While we wait for everything to happen, I can go next if you want. Unless Summer, you want to take the mic.
Oh, you can go, Emily. You can go.
Okay. Um. Well, I think actually, never mind. I've lost my train of thought. Apologies. Summer, do you want to go?
Summary.
I'll go. So in the Minecraft space, I think like I've dealt with like a lot, honestly, and like for empathy, like for like times that I felt it, definitely like when mods I've spoken to have just been really helpful with like helping me deal with situations that have happened with other people in the space, and just like to being there and helping support me like with like going through it and helping be there to like emphasize with what is going on and help better the situation in some way, shape, or form. Oh, the question again was if you have experienced empathy from others, who is it from and what was it like or about?
Oh, gotcha. Right.
Again.
Okay. Um. Apologies. So I've I'm gonna go pretty deep here. I remember when I was at MCC Twitch Rivals in TwitchCon back in my first year of TwitchCon, I was extremely excited to go and see MCC. And at the time, there was one pretty big fear that I had of one content creator when I was like back in high school, I want to say uh there during COVID, I had grown like online, and I hadn't really known much, and I accidentally kind of acted a little parasocial to a streamer. I ended up going to their meet and greet to formally apologize, and one of my friends, Wheezy Moss, was actually right there next to me, who I had confided in this information, not knowing whether or not he was going to judge me for that, and I had ended up going up and just full on saying, I am so sorry for any sort of discomfort I might have apologized to. And I remember looking back at Moss, and he just smiled at me and gave me a big hug afterwards. I remember feeling just so safe there. Um, and it was probably one of the best things he could have done for me at the time, because that was a very big part of like my entire kind of arc of like this socially awkward kid like coming into this sphere, especially after like being 3 years in the MCC community and feeling like I was kind of the shell of this person that I had grown out of afterwards. And that kindness really pushed me over the edge, and I feel like I'm myself again because of it.
I'm glad you got to do that, Emily. And I'm glad you had
Yeah.
somebody in your corner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like
Um,
having people that are there for you, like that's definitely really big, like I think that's definitely awesome being able to find people who
yeah,
you're able to know that they have your back.
Mhm.
100%.
Hmm.
It was actually how I ended up being with my boyfriend Herman as well. After MCC, I told him to, and I was very much ready for him to kind of judge me for it, and instead he just hugged me. That night was the night I decided, yeah, this is the person I want to be with. because they made
Oh.
me feel like I was myself and I didn't
Mhm.
have to hide behind so many layers of masking.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really sweet. That is really sweet.
Mhm.
Yeah. But yeah,
So,
um,
Zombie, what's our next question then?
yeah.
The next question is, if you guys feel comfortable talking about it, what have you experienced online as a woman?
Oh,
Oh boy.
so am I
It
okay to
could be
take this
like I
question
think it's
first?
heavy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
you're okay.
So when I first joined this community, I was in with a very masculine group that I'd kind of met through a big streamers chat. Um, and I kind of came into the community through them. I kind of met their friends, so on and so forth. I think the first experience I have of them was them kind of like telling me, "Oh, don't worry about being worse than us." You know, it's to be expected. I doubt you'll ever really catch up. I think that was one of my first experiences in this community. Was kind of been told, "Oh, it's okay that you're bad at the game. Don't worry about it because you're not us. You don't have to be great at it." And I was like, "Oh, wow." And a lot of the times that I'd like try to improve, whether that was like playing different matches like in PvP, 1v1s, or if it was parkour, or if it was like to get to the other side, um, they'd often take the time to like. I remember one of them decided to strafe around me and punch me with their fist in a sword duel to kind of close how bad I was compared to them. Um, I remember being raced in parkour when I could barely even make 3-up-1s. I didn't know any of the tech. And I just remember every time like I'd fail something, there'd be kind of like a laughing comment about, oh well, she's just a girl that's just got this, and that was probably one of my first experiences online. And since then, I've moved into a much healthier side of the community, um, where I've kind of grown and learned and been taught different things. But that kind of sticks with me of like that was my first experience in here as a woman.
Goodness me, I didn't know that of myself.
It's not one I usually share much about. I don't really like to revisit it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
after that kind of thing, yeah, I'd be the same.
Yeah, that is definitely fair. Like I think like experiences like they can be really negative and just like really like anxiety inducing, like at least for me.
Yeah.
So just like not wanting to talk about it and just like stay like closed about it, like that's definitely fair.
Yeah, you kind of
I
learn
can
who
definitely get over
to
that.
avoid.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
Yeah.
But like
But thank you
said,
for being open about it. Thank you.
no, it's fine. Like I said,
absolutely.
I've got my whole
Yeah.
group now.
Yeah.
Anybody that does know me knows that like we have a group called Yapatron, and we have other groups like TT Gen and stuff. There's just
Uh-huh.
full of lovely people, and they've all made my experiences online so much better. It's been really nice.
Mhm.
I can go next if you
I'm really
want
happy
to.
about that for you. Yeah, you can go.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not as bad as everybody else's, but I definitely throughout like my entire like online career up until maybe a year ago, it felt like people were taking me for granted whenever I would like give an insight on things like emotions especially because as you know like science says that women are more like emotional than some men, and I've been trying to like combat that and being like it's okay for like men to be like emotional. That's not a wrong thing at all. And because of that, I feel like I've been looked at differently because I would give like some responses where they would just be like, "Oh, well, you're a woman. You're more emotional." And I'm like, "No, that's not the case at all." You know? It's nothing terrible, but, it's still apparent, I feel like, to some degree.
Yeah. No, I get that. I feel like being told you're more emotional because you're a female is genuinely one of the most frustrating things
Frustrating
you can
thing?
hear.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I'll talk about mine. Like I've made my experiences public and, like have like been like really open about them, but I got started in the Minecraft community in PvP spaces like Hoplite, Funny Wars, spaces like those where I would play the competitive 5v5s on Hoplite, which were basically you get a sword, you get blocks, um, Shield of CHC basically. Um, and you and a team of 5, you and another team of 5 go against each other in duels. So I would just be called terms like useless, um, and like other just terms that I don't think we should be calling people online.
Yeah.
Um, I would be called slurs online. um, slurs again, like
Horrible.
slurs that some people use against women. Um, like I don't know if this stage is like a place where
I don't
I
think
could really
it would
share.
be. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah, but like people would just like say that about me because like I'm not like like I don't fit their standards. Like I'm
Yeah.
not good at PvP. I'm not the best Minecraft player out there. Like I'm sure if I improved, maybe I would be able to like earn some respect from them, and maybe I wouldn't be called terrible things like I was, but you know, um, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's horrible. Like I genuinely you're so strong for staying in the sphere after that because holy
Yeah.
smokes, I know most people wouldn't. That's for sure.
No,
yeah. I've
I know
definitely
that.
found a lot of solace like within like the just like content creator like event space. Like I've definitely
Yeah.
found like a lot of like like I think like that space is definitely a lot more positive than just like the just public event spaces and just like more publicized communities. Like I think it is a lot more safer. But
Hmm.
still though.
Yeah, I
But
think there's a lot of bad in this community that can come from things like this. I think there's also a lot of good in the community, but I think
Mhm.
it's sometimes harder to know when you feel like all you see is a bit of the bad. Um, but it's so rough being put in that position where you're faced with the bad so frequently. As
yeah,
Aubrey, you are genuinely so strong for handling it. Um, I think my only kind of recommendation when you are going through the rough of it is just trying to look at the smaller things around you, like the friends that you have holding you up, because there's genuinely so many nice people in the community too. I think that kind
yeah,
of took us a long while to see.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
That's
Um
to be funny. So maybe next question.
so for the next question, when women come forward with their experiences online, how can we showcase empathy towards them?
I think it's for a woman to come forward with experiences. I think for anybody, it's hard coming forward and admitting when you've had a really bad experience or when something really negative has happened. I think in terms of showing empathy, it's just a case of like, kind of leaving them a nice message or even just like kind of seeing, like telling them that you've seen them and you've heard them. You can offer to sit and listen. I, I, I don't ever go into something with the intent of I can fix it. It's just if you need an ear, I can listen. I can't promise
Mhm.
a solution, but I can listen. I think it's just kind of letting people know that like they're not alone in whatever they're going through. If you've had a really rough experience, we hear you, we see you. It's horrible, but you have people here in your corner that are going to be there for you.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
It genuinely, if you don't even know the person, it is still a good idea to check up on them to see if they're okay because the best thing you can do if you don't know somebody is listen to their stories. Be there for them. Make sure they're okay because that right there is empathy. That right there is what I think, quite frankly,
It
more
doesn't
people
look
should
like
be
to me.
doing when they hear like a story. Just reach out, say, "Hey, I hope you're doing okay." You
Yeah.
don't have to like even go through all that if you're not okay with like trauma dumping or anything like that. Genuinely, even just leaving a message being like, "Hey, I hope you're okay. I might not know who you are,
Mhm.
but I heard your story and I'm looking out for
Yeah.
you. You don't have to know them. You don't have to know them to show empathy in the slightest.
So even just if they've posted on it publicly, even if you just leave like a heart or if you just like it to show that you've seen it and you
Mhm.
acknowledge it,
Mhm.
you know, it's not, you don't have to sit there and say, right, spill everything to me. We'll talk about this for 5 hours straight. Just show them
Yeah,
in a small way that you're kind of there and that you see them and that you hear them.
it genuinely helps.
You have anything for that, Zombie?
Um, so for when women come forward with their stories, and experiences online, I would say definitely just being there for them and definitely lending an ear, because I think like sometimes like especially like when I came forward about like things that I've been through online, like I think sometimes like people have just like turned like a blind eye to things that I've been through. Like I'll go to report somebody to moderators and then I'll just be met with, hey, like this is barely this. So we're not going to do anything. So just taking a moment, I think taking a step back too, like sometimes, and just like seeing like trying to like see it from their perspective, like, hey, um, like how does it feel like to maybe be in their shoes? How does it feel to maybe have gone through this? And what can we do to show support and make and like see like what we can do to help out with the situation?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's fine by
Yeah,
us.
Okay.
all good.
Yep,
Um,
fine by us.
I believe we had a closing question or like a last question.
Yeah.
And then Emily, do you have anything to say for that one question?
Yeah, I mean, it genuinely I know it's not exactly, everybody doesn't really do this, but it was genuinely the fact that I kept seeing situations happen and people being treated unjustly that made me speak up with that empathy video that I did. Because it genuinely hurt me to see my friends be hurt by other people or feel scared about like speaking their mind, considering this sphere that we're in is so loud. You can definitely find any like information if you just talk to the right people, and word travels so fast that it's like if you mess up once, it's done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it genuinely, that's what made me make that video. I saw that injustice happening and I was like, this is crazy. Like with how often like people constantly are leaving because they're scared, they're demotivated, they're just like all these different things that like make them want to leave the sphere. That's it's not the way that it was beforehand, when I was growing up here, and I didn't want that for future generations that might see these tournaments and be excited like we were when we were younger, you know? I didn't
Mhm.
want that for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
Um
it's rough when you make like a singular mistake and then it's just kind of everywhere and that is all that anybody knows about you and it's like, ah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You have to look
And
past
then
that and see the person.
yeah.
yeah,
Sorry. Yep.
definitely. And then two more questions. But what are some things that we can do to make online spaces safer for women?
I think genuinely just being kinder to each other. It
Yeah.
goes a mile. It genuinely goes a mile. Putting yourself in their shoes of like what might this person be going through already. That's a step that would be so wonderful to see.
Yeah. I think a lot of people kind of have the mindset of or at least from what I've seen of like this is like different games belong to different people and this is a male's game and that's an actual female, you should play that. That has to stop. That one has to stop. I think games are games. People enjoy playing them. Be kind towards each other, and it doesn't really matter what game you're playing as long as you're just having fun doing it. You can't really gatekeep who deserves to be in what game and when. It was never meant for just one set of people. I think just be kind towards each other, like Emily said, and just kind of show each other that we're all human and we all have a little bit of empathy for each other. And I think that could really go a long way.
Yeah.
I think for what I would have to say, definitely just like listening and showing support. So like if like you're in a position of power, as a mod or admin, showing support, to women who might come forward, like within tickets, or like if like a woman makes an online post about a situation that she's been dealing with, definitely listening to her, and seeing like and just like reading everything about like what she's went through, and being
Hmm.
there to provide a listening ear, um and definitely just being there for her.
Yeah.
And to go off of that, like, speaking up genuinely helps us so much. I remember, like, about a month or two ago, I saw a post by one of my friends, Harry, who was genuinely just like, guys, be kinder to each other, and like uplifting women creators all the time, and that genuinely made waves of a difference. It helps us.
100%. And then for the closing question, in your opinion, is there anything that needs more awareness and attention brought to it? This could be anything relevant to the topic of today's panel. And who are some guests you guys would like to see on a panel like this in the future?
Sorry, I got distracted for a second.
No, you're fine.
Um,
All good.
I've got the attention span of like I don't even know. I think
That's all right.
for awareness and attention brought to it, I think again it's just all about empathy, just about like offering people the forgiveness. Um, I'm not saying like everything warrants immediate forgiveness. I'm not saying that you have to forgive people immediately. I'm saying try and hear people
Mhm.
out and try and understand from different sides, and then kind of try and move forward because holding on to things for so long just hurts you in the process. Um,
Mhm.
for people I'd love to see on this panel in the future, obviously these two amazing people. I'd love to see back here. I think they're incredible. Um, and then I don't know, maybe just some other people that have had similar experiences or have ideas in how they can kind of help bring the community more together instead of split down the middle like it currently is.
Yeah. I mean, there is definitely some creators that like I would love to have on here. I can't think of any off the top of my head. I apologize. Um, my ADHD hates me, guys. Um, but yeah, I genuinely like going off of what Riot said. People who have been through things or who aren't like afraid to speak up or anything like
Mhm.
that. Those people would be wonderful. Even it doesn't even have to be like a woman necessarily. Um, to like name one, maybe AJX. He's a genuinely empathetic person and like looks out for so many people. And yeah,
I feel like Rice could be a
he's
good
awesome.
Rice in real
Yeah,
time.
yeah. Rice would be another one.
Yeah.
Zombie?
So, um, yeah, like I think like like the point of this panel, being a woman in competitive gaming and content creation, I think like that is definitely a topic that like I love to just be open about, and I want this podcast to be something that will help people in the future, that will help young girls and to help young women be able to navigate the space, and
Hmm.
to be able to just um to be open about what they're going on without feeling like they're going to be judged, or without feeling like they're in unsafe spaces. So I think having this panel and having this stage here is just really important. Um and I would love to see anybody on this panel. I would love to. Like, I'm so glad I brought you guys along here with me.
Yeah, it's been a
And
pleasure.
it's been pretty awesome. So like I would love to like hear from like anybody like who would want to be on this anybody who would want to be on this panel. So if you do want to reach out, do feel free. My IGN is just Sombry. So if you want
No,
to like
thank you
message me
guys
on
for coming.
Discord or
Thank you for the thank you for the
Twitter,
talk. Really
feel free.
appreciate it, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you for having us.
No worries. It's really important to have these conversations and raise awareness about these issues. So I'm really grateful you guys came on and discussed this topic. It means a lot to us.
Thank you for having us. It means a lot.
Yes,
to us.
thank you.
No problem. All right, that's a wrap for this panel. And next up, we have Disability Me with Zulu West, a cubed regular. So we'll be right back. We'll get that presentation ready, and we'll be back in just a sec. Thank you, everybody.